Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Scarlets Fever with me, Lee G. Joining me, as always, is the happy crew, Big M, Catboy, and Carwin. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Evening.
So now I've prepped you for something exciting coming now, boys. So I'm just going to let you boys start talking about how exciting your week has been, how enjoyable you. There's very much a YouTube thing that is coming up. Okay, so see Hugh perked up there. You go, oh, now we're talking Hugh's language. I just need to throw the word spreadsheet in there as well, and Hugh's gonna have to go change his pants. Right. So Martin, how's your week been, mate?
My week has been bloody stressful.
Why
Mrs.
that?
has decided to book a fucking abroad holiday, but she didn't check the passports first, did she?
Oh my God.
She didn't check
you.
You didn't check your passports.
We're a frame down.
I know. You can only do it as 5. It's very, like I say, it's very much a YouTube thing that I've just found. Anyway, go on, carry on. You didn't check your passports, and
no. Yeah. So the youngest but one, my 6-year-old, her passport is happily expired. So obviously we've got to try and get a fast track appointment. None in Newport, so we get to go to London. Yay! But the funny thing was, we went to London on last Thursday. She booked the appointment for Friday.
Oh, well done.
That's... managed to get seen anyway, but Christ, it was a stressful week.
So have you got your passport sorted?
It should be back by next Thursday, and then we're good to go.
Okay. I thought you said you were going next Wednesday.
Week Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Thanks. My mistake. My bad. What's that?
I'm enjoying this movie we're in.
So Zoom have just launched this thing called, I'm assuming it's just launched because I haven't seen it before. And I happened to be, Jamie was buggering about with his view on Rap Podcast. And I said, I'll show you what, and I saw this thing called immersive view. So there's all these different things where you can like.
I'm back. Did I miss anything? Has the movie started?
No, it hasn't started yet. We're still on the headliners. Yeah. But you've got like you can put yourself in like a boardroom like this. You can do there. Look, you can do like a Dragon's Den type thing where you're sitting in your chairs like that.
Down that seat if you like.
It becomes weirdly addictive. You know that week when we discovered that when you do a thumbs up, Mark, it does background. Yeah, it's a little bit like that.
How come me and Carwin are in the room, but Lee's in the circle and Martin's in the square?
No idea. I literally found this like 20 minutes ago, boys. So
I think I'm just too good to back out my screen, you know.
Well, you can go in, like, you can do this for like a meeting of 25 and you can have like 25 people in it.
So, this would have been so much better during COVID. Can you imagine just being like in a local council meeting with 25 people like,
Coventry Uni is not unlike this.
Well, all online?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, these chairs, Cov Uni, it has this amazing thing in the engineering department where the space, because it's well engineered, the space between the seats and the desks and the seats are like built into the floor isn't long enough for like if you have legs. So you have to sit sideways, and everyone in this like 100 people lecture hall is like watching the lecture like this sideways because the gap isn't big enough between the chair and the seats. Chair and the desk, rather.
See, that says engineering to me. Yeah, that says engineering.
Form over function. Where are we going next?
I don't know. This one looks a little. We'll get on to rugby in a minute. My signal's decided to. Zoom's not liking it, boys. Zoom's not like. Oh, there we go. Right. Okay. This one looks a bit more exotic. A little more. Or I don't know. Does that look exotic or like a kid's nursery?
I don't know what this is supposed to be.
Mine hasn't changed.
You're certainly ahead of the pyramid, you being at the top there.
It's like Easter Island.
We're your minions.
Anyway, I'll switch us back to so if anybody wants to fart about with immersive
boring,
viewers,
Yeah.
It's a come down now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I was messing around. One of the reasons why I'm going to go and do other things is that we're going to move to a better way of recording and what have you. We'll be able to import videos, and we'll all have different colors and freaky hair and well-trimmed beards, Martin, and things like that.
Well,
Yeah, actually, we will have well-trimmed beards because
not yet.
I know, but it's coming.
It's not for your face, though.
It's
it can be.
It could be. There's no rule to stop it, I suppose.
We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, genuinely, Hugh, Carwin, anything exciting to report from this week?
It's the calm before the storm for me. My sister's getting married next weekend, so quite nice. There's no game on, so it's just getting everything ready for that, really, yeah.
Well,
Thank you to the Scarlets for not getting to the semi-finals this year.
Well, I did ask Dwayne nicely to have a year off.
I was forced to go outside and socialize with human beings this weekend.
No.
Bastards.
It's not my
What's the world
natural
coming to?
behavior.
No. How long did it take to recover?
I'm still on the road.
No.
Because the whole thing, it was a guy's birthday do, and it was like, we'll go for a walk and then go for a pub. And I was like, sound, half an hour walk, 3 hours in the pub. I could get on board with this. Oh no. 3 hours walk, half hour in pub.
Oh, is that even legal?
One drink it. And the thing is, there was 8 of us, and he was like, "Oh, we'll just go in this pub and get some food." And I was like, "It was in the Cotswolds, so it's quite a posh place." I was like, "I don't think you can just rock up to a gastropub with 8 people and say food, please." But it turns out, problem solved itself. The pub wasn't serving food on a Saturday afternoon.
Well, they served beer. A pub served beer.
It did serve beer. Yeah, it served Buckcombe.
Excellent. Best named beer in the country at the minute. Buckcombe. Yes, we like that. It has appeared on the Rap Drink of the Week many times already.
Do you think Titcombe drinks Buckcombe?
Not on the weekends.
It's a very difficult conversation to have without drinking. It's the kind of conversation you need to have a couple of beers inside you before you start going on.
I'm reliably informed that Charlie Titcombe's nickname is Tits. So, imagine you're in a pub. Imagine you're in a pub with him, shouting across. There's a group of people. He's not paying attention. You go, tits, tits, tits. What come?
Oh my God. Okay. It's just as well there isn't a game to preview this week because I have a feeling we're going to spend a lot of time talking about pointless stuff. Right. Okay. Let's actually move on to rugby stuff. Any club news to report this week, Hugh? Anything exciting?
Yes, we've changed the world.
Good to hear it. And how have we changed the world?
Well, Scarlets found their camera again and put some footage up online. That was very exciting. B, Carmarthen Quins now announce their scorers after we complained about it publicly. We now can tell you who scored points for Carmarthen Quins at the weekend for the first time in years.
See, I like that. I like the fact that they've gone, I think we're being a bit shit here, boys.
Were they waiting for the big win just to like show off? Oh yeah, this guy's good. Oh, he's good as well. Oh, and this guy's good. Let's bring them all on.
Well, we'll cover off their result in a minute, but it's taken them how many games to get to this point?
They're the only club. They're the only club where Flash Score do the actual in-game results, because some games they just do final score. They're the only club where they do in-game try scorers where the try scorers aren't named anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world.
Hard to get signal in Carmarthen though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, the team that they're playing, I can tell you who scored for them.
It's that penalty guy again, wasn't it? It's well, if you looked on our socials over the weekend as well, you would have seen some Narberth when they got promoted. They did a little video. Have you seen that video? So I said last week about doing a fan cast where you get lots of people's video, and the idea is you go, right, so I'll do like a little bit, and then you do a little bit, and then Carwin do a bit, and then And Narberth kind of had 6 views of the game all running at the same time. and I love the fact that they've made the effort. I've loved the fact that they've gone, we've got a lot of stuff to do here. But oh my God, I felt seasick just watching it. I was kind of trying to follow, and there's a pass over here and somebody tackling over there, and somebody, is that the same?
So it wasn't
one?
all timer lines then. It was...
No, it's just like, I think it's 4, to be honest. It's 4 different views of the game, but you try and watch it, and you oh my God, if you didn't have epilepsy when you started, you sure as fuck did when you finished. Oh my God, it was, stick to work. Just put the one, get the full videos, and then just put them together, put them out in one. But make the effort. Well done for making the effort. But yeah, calm down. There's a whole season's worth there to go. Just calm down. Right, with that in mind then, Big M, shall we do the community rundown?
Yes, we shall.
Yes, we shall. Right, go on, you start, and I'll try and find your results page to share for everyone. Go on.
Huh. Fair enough. Okay, we'll start in the Premiership as we do. Last Thursday night, Llandovery were at home to Bridgend. Nice, easy 62-13 win for the Drovers. They now go on to the playoff semi-finals next week, which will be at home against Cardiff. In that game, Scarlets boys, we had Ed Scragg and Max Page. Max Page picked up a try, and on the bench we had Josh Morse and Harry Thomas. To the now aforementioned game, Carmarthen Quins at home.
Can I just quickly just say on the Llandovery game, like 62, what was it? 62-21, 62-14? 13. Yeah. Doesn't quite do the game justice. Llandovery were 50 points up with 49 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, they were out of this world. Fair play. They really did take their foot off the gas in the second half. They
started pissing around, doing stupid look at me passes because it was just so easy for them. And they interviewed it. At least we know that what's his name? Who's the fly off for Bridgend? Not Luke Scully. Luke Price.
The one that was he was late, wasn't he? On his tractor.
He was late. He was late because his tractor got stuck in the lane. But we know he is better having been kicked by a cow earlier in the season. He has recovered from that.
There's lots of interesting stuff going on in that game. So onto the Quins at home to Neath. And bear in mind, both these sides hadn't won a game up to, I think, mid-December. So they were both considered more or less the same level pegging. Quins 52, Neath 7. What an absolute performance from them. Archie Hughes with a first half hat-trick. What a way to tell the Scarlets, you put me on the bench last week, now you drop me. You know what, I'm going to go and smash it up here. Fair play to the boy. Other guys we had in the squad, Isaac Young made a return. We haven't seen him since November, I think, so great to have him back. Charlie Titcombe, just the usual. He picked up a try, 4 conversions, as he does. Iestyn William had a try. Yori Badam also with a try. On the bench, we had Sam O'Connor, Lewis Morgan, so we had both hookers for Quins. He picked up a try as well. Lucas Ataro, another try, and Ellis Price with 2 conversions. So, all the points came from Scarlets or Scarlets Academy players. So, can't really moan at that, really. And with, the perception of how many boys are supposedly in the match day 23 for the EDC next season, it's going to be more of the same, really. So we'll skip on over to the real community game now, the fully amateur sides. And we got in Championship West, we had Dunvant losing 20 points to 40 away to Talavera. Neither of those sides are ours, we know that, but it was a massively important game for Newcastle.
That's the Griffin Derby.
Why is that the Griffin Derby? Oh, that's your family.
My granddad is from Talavera, and my great-grandfather, his father, was station master at Dunvant railway station.
Well, there's something that no one gives a shit about you. So, Hugh's found a game that he's got a connection with. Go on.
Emotionally invested in that game.
Nice. You've got a connection with some Swansea sides. I hope you're proud. So that game was massively important for Newcastle Emlyn. Dunvant were 4 points behind them, and they had 2 games in hand. And this realistically was the only one they would have won. But thankfully they didn't. So Newcastle Emlyn have gone up. Happy freaking days. Other results, Ammanford went down 25-31 away to Bonamine. Llangennych beating Dunvant, so that second game, 54-24 away. And a massive win to crown Narberth champions of Championship West, 61-7 at home to Meister Quins.
Is anybody else noting that Martin's got Dunvant on there twice?
Because they played twice in the week.
Played 2 games.
They played midweek and Saturday, I think, was it?
Well,
Yes.
Normally you separate those out, Mark. What's going
Well,
on?
normally I put an asterisk on it. But,
He's been having passport troubles, to be fair to him.
You're letting yourself down there, Mark. I think you.
Yeah, I haven't put my asterisk on this one, but I know what I'm doing, so don't worry. It's the same now when I go into One West because Wanderers played twice.
Hang on, because we've got a bit of time. So when I was in uni, we used to have a guy who played for Dunvant. Yeah, so he was Dunvant seconds or whatever. And one of the other guys that lived with us hated Dunvant. He was from Leith somewhere, and he absolutely hated Dunvant. So every time the guy from Dunvant said Dunvant, the guy from Leith would go, "Oh shit." So, and it didn't matter where we were or what we were doing. He'd go, "So where are you from?" "Oh, I'm from Dunvant." "Oh shit." And it would be just constant. You'd be out on a night out. "Oh yeah, I'm from Dunvant," and you'd hear somebody 20 meters away going, "Oh shit." It'd be great.
Sky Sports wasn't invented, was it?
No.
It was back in the 60s. Surely you know this.
Let's not start that shit again. Right, go on. Division 1 West.
Okay, One West. Wanderers had a midweek game away to an island. They won 29-17 into the weekend. Vellinville went down 15 points to 50 at home to Gassainan. Aberystwyth lost 17-31 at home to Gowerton. Gassainan picking up the second win of the week away to Kidwelly in 1913. And then Llanelli Wanderers rounded off a lovely season. Still a few games left, but they're now officially champions of One West with a 61-10 win away to Pencloud. And they've got the return fixture coming soon.
So they've done the double?
Double. You got to have a double. You know, Drovers wrong for a treble. You know, cup win, league leaders, league winners. Awesome. They can do it. So on to this week for One West. There's still a few games left. Midweek, we got on Wednesday night, Vellinville at home to Gowerton, and Llanelli Wanderers getting that return game against Pencloud. On to the weekend, Barryport travel to Gowerton, Aberystwyth on the way to One Island, and Hendy hosting Gassainan. One West Central, Brynaman's last game, midweek game. They needed to win to stand any chance of remaining in the league. 26-25 win at home to Birchgrove. So they managed to stay in the league until Saturday. But unfortunately, Bridgend Athletic just, they picked up a bonus point. So, it was all downhill. So unlucky for Brynaman, one extra try here, a penalty kick there over the season would have been enough to keep them up, but it's unfortunate for any side of ours to go down. But we don't yet know where they're going. Could they go to 2 West Central? Could they go to 2 West? We have no idea.
I was going to say that they're going to, because there was so many changes around with people being jigsawed into various different leagues, isn't there? So them coming to 2 West is quite doable, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you put Mumbles into West Central, makes sense, So we go into 2 West now. And midweek game, Carmarthen Athletic 33-14 winners at home to Aman United. Aman then on the weekend going down 5-33 at home to Lycha. Fishguard winning 36-26 at home to Croyce. Milford Haven with a pretty handy 34-12 win at home to Tenby. I bet those boys will be happy after that one. And then the big one, whether or not Pontebaran would stay in the league, 36-45 loss against Nancaredig. I'm really gutted for Pontebaran. They weren't the best last season, but they showed massive improvements. I don't think they really deserve to go down when you make those sorts of improvements. But it is what it is, and they'll be going into the new 3 West. Games for this week, well, games for the rest of the season all involve Man United because they didn't play so many earlier on. So
Are they
they
going to
are.
get? Are they going to get a sanction for
Already
missing
have.
4 games?
They already have. They already had points stocked.
Oh right,
Yeah.
okay.
6 games in 3 weeks, bonkers.
Yeah.
It is awesome. So first game up is on Wednesday. They're at home to the Croix. Then they travel to Mumbles on the Saturday, and we'll get the other 2 games in next week. Down into 3 West Day, and the big one midweek was Larne at home to Harvard West. A winner-take-all situation. Whoever won would be in prime position for the league. And Larne picked it up 20 points to 13. So it's unofficial, but looking at the fixtures they got left, Larne are champions and going up. The other result was on Saturday, which was Larne 59, Pembroke Quins 0. So must have been fun for some people. An early game now this week. So Tuesday night, we got Harvard West travelling to Neyland. And then on Saturday, it's Larne in the return fixture travelling to Pembroke Quins. Going to 3 West B now, another midweek game. We had Tumble winning 38-30 at home to Tregaron. Into the Saturday, Cefneithin winning 89-7 at home to Binya. Llandilo winning 54-10 away to Llandybbi. Betos picking up a 32-29 win against Llangadog. And Tregaron winning 31-29 at home to Trimsaran. That win for Betos means they cannot be caught at the top of the table. They are officially champions by virtue of games won, and another point will make it special for them. But they've only lost once all season, so it's got to be coming. Games for this week on Wednesday, we've got Tumble at home to Cefneithin, a lovely Gwendryth derby. If you're in and around the area, get down. That's going to be smashing. Now, All Wales Sport have got Llandybbi against Trimsaran for Thursday night, but they've got date TBC underneath it as well. So I'm not 100% sure if that game is going ahead. On to the weekend then, we got Llandilo at home to Llangadog, and Cefneithin travelling to Hugh Griffin's New Dock Stars.
Right.
5 West Central, rounding things off now. Pontiacs went down 1931 away to Seven Sisters. Games for this
Right,
week.
Mark, I can't concentrate. Lee's lost.
What
Lee's
happened there?
lost
It's
it.
not me. It's Lee.
My mouse decided to fuck off for a walk down the bottom of the shop. There
You
you go.
didn't need to touch it. I've made sure that all of these fit in one little screen. You didn't need to touch anything.
Yeah, but that's when it's on a big screen. This is on a little screen. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Fine. So games for next week, Pontiacs are travelling to Banwen and Pennebank are travelling to Penlan. And that is absolutely it for the community roundup.
According to Llandybbia's Facebook, the game does go ahead on Thursday night against Trimsaran. 7 kick-off. If anybody's in the area wants to watch it.
There you go. On the button. I will say that's a lot more engaging with the spreadsheet in front of us. It's a good.
It's a bit like, come on.
Out when the season's already over.
We are the commanding Quins of the podcasting world. We it gets to the end of the season and we go, right, you know that bit that we started doing at the start? Yeah, let's do that again. That would make sense. But there we go. Right, okay. So let's move on to the big boys. Let's move on to Scarlets and Sharks. So, I mean, there's 2 things with this. Yes, much better performance, but also we still lost. So, Carwin, talk me through your thoughts on that game and what you thought went well and what didn't.
A big positive for me was the way the boys showed up. It's almost as if they targeted this game as a win. They'd been told, this is a winnable game, let's go for it. Ultimately, we failed in that department again. And yes, on paper, the Sharks are a good team, but I'd argue on paper, the Scarlets are also a very good team. I thought individually there were some fantastic performances. Johan playing at fullback, outstanding. I thought I've been a bit critical of him in the past, not sort of quite what's the word? Thinking he might have been up for the regional, up for up to it at regional level, but I'm always glad to be put shown in the wrong, corrected. Plumtree is just quality. But yeah, in a results-driven business, unfortunately, we failed once again, and it's just another L in the column of the history books. And now it just makes a post season very, very grim. Happy
Martin,
Monday.
Martin, what did you make of it?
We are missing Franks so much as our scrum coach. Honest to God, I can't believe how valuable that man was to us over the last 2 seasons. We've got the more or less the exact same boys in the pack, and we're going backwards. So it tells you how valuable a good scrum coach is. Something I really liked on Friday night, we actually tried to attack. We tried a set play. And if it weren't for the fact that Fafita was about half a metre too far forward, it would have come off.
To be fair, they wouldn't have practiced it very much, would they? So we'll let him off.
God, no. But yeah, there seems to be a positive mood. I mean, I know we're still taking a few thumpings, Glasgow, Munster, but things seem to be on the up, as in, the boys, I think, appear happier, especially in the way they're playing. I don't know whether or not they've bought into the new system with Jared as defence coach or whatnot, but it does seem genuinely more positive around the club. I mean, there's obviously still a lot of work to do, but yeah, we were in the game till the last minute. How many times have we said that this season? 3, 4? It's just it is. And I think if it was another minute or two, we might have actually done it because we were well in it at that point. And, everybody, you've got to love Johan Nicholas's performance. He was outstanding. It's a shame for him being a utility player. I mean, if he'd stayed at 13 when he was younger in his career, I think he would have made a good go of it. But I think someone put on Facebook or Twitter or something. He's one of them types of player that he's instrumental to the team. He's always there. He might not get his caps or whatnot, but he's always there, and he was always put his heart on his shirt and go for it. We need more players like that. I mean, Plumtree actually played a full 80, which surprised me. He looked knackered after 45 last week, so big up to him in his conditioning this week. Yeah, I think we need a new scrum coach. I mean, Emir has been skills for a long time, and I know we worked with Franks last season in transitioning, but something hasn't quite transitioned over. So I think even if it's someone on a consultation basis, our props are fine. We've got international class props, starting and bench. So there's no reason for them to be going backwards. And it's not as if we've got 2 twigs as second rows.
Sharks have got a good front row, to be fair. I mean, Oxenshade was doing that to England in the semi-final of the World Cup. And Oxenshade had a very good game generally, I thought. But yeah, sorry, is it my turn, Lee?
Yes, yeah. We'll just roll with it, boys. Just roll with it. Yeah, go on, mate.
Yeah, I agree. I think Johan Nicholas was outstanding. I think he's been fantastic every time he's pulled the jersey on. Sam Costello is the Scarlets at the moment. He drags us around that pitch, and he plays like he's got a weight on his shoulders at the moment, which is slightly. It's a bit of a shame on one hand, but he's taken it on. He's clearly had a word with himself. It's like, well, turns out it is me who's got to do everything. So he is doing everything. Fair play to him, and nailed his goals. Absolutely fantastic display off the kicking tee. Plumtree, I will have. I'm not a one-eyed Scarlets fan on most things, but Sam Costello has no competition for the Wales number 10 shirt. Is one hill I'll die on. And Tane Plumtree has no competition for the Wales number 6 jersey. He is so clear as a number 6 for Wales for me. I don't think there's anybody who can offer what he does. I think every other 6 in Wales is either past it, a 7 playing out of position, or just not on his level for me.
Can you imagine Costello with a forward-moving pack in front of him? How dangerous he'd be.
Yeah, yeah. I I think the I do believe that Jared Payne has had an impact on the defense, and I think that we're all singing off the same hymn sheet in defense, which is good.
I think
I
we've got a hymn sheet. I think that's the difference.
Yeah,
And we've opened the book and we've had a quick read before we got on the pitch.
yeah.
So it makes life so much easier.
Also, a coach that has got a lot of stick for, I think, things that aren't his fault is Albert van den Berg. And I think our maul defense was very good. We stopped their maul. I think the forwards, our first line forwards are playing with an intensity. And just generally, I think it's difficult to figure out what his remit is because of Emma Phillips kind of confuses it with him being skills and scrum. But I do think from what I can figure out that Albert van den Berg does do, I think has gone pretty well. Like line out defense is pretty much, it must be his main thing, and that's gone well. One thing I want to ask you guys about is Johnny Williams. So he had another great game, and there are a few people who will die on the hill of Johnny Williams is the best 12 in Wales. I'm not quite there. It feels like even when Johnny Williams plays well, that we never come out of a game going, "Oh, Johnny Williams, bloody brilliant." What is it about? Why aren't we on board with this guy? I don't know, Carwin. What's your thoughts?
I think because when he arrived, we were expecting him to set the world alight. And maybe he hasn't reached those heights. I actually thought on Friday night he played like a man who was auditioning possibly for his next chapter. There's something about him on Friday I haven't seen. It felt like there's a fire in his belly. But I think the main problem is, though, especially this season, is because we've been so poor, apart from Costello, none of our backs have really been mentioned because but on the whole, we've been so poor up front. The ball they've had has been useless, and we've hardly been able to do anything with it. So I don't think we've seen the best of any of our backs really. I think they've got so much more to offer, but yeah, I don't know. He's just never quite reached maybe the level we thought he would when he arrived. I think when he came over, he was sort of, all right, he'd been brought in, he'd play for Wales, he'd be a superstar, bish, bash, bosh, job done. But I don't know, something's not, injuries taking a toll. I don't know, there's something that's just not quite ticking.
I think he's one of those players that he either has a really, really good game or quite a poor game. There isn't like a solid game in the middle that he has. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's just the type of player that he is, because he's a very aggressive player. Some of his defense on Friday was, I thought he was quite close to getting the yellow card quite a few times, and he got away with it. But he is just overtly aggressive, and you need that. You know that I think that's why he works well at inside centre, is because he kind of gives everybody a bit of oomph. But I actually think he's probably now better at outside centre. I think he works well with Eddie James inside him, and it gives us more rods in the fire, so to speak.
He's got more space out there, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he is quick. He is lightning quick, and having a couple of players who can chop and change. You know, your Nicholas who can come in at 13, you can go in at 10. You've got, the two centres can swap around and things like that. It just gives you a bit of adaptability in the backs. You've got, Fafita and Lousy, you can slot in at the backs pretty much anywhere and handle along with the best of them. So, yeah, I just think he's an element of what you were saying, Carmen, where the expectation level was probably higher than where it needed to be, and he had some big shoes to fill. He came in when Scott Williams left.
Hadley Parks.
Yeah, Hadley Parks. Yeah, there's been a line of top class inside centres, and yeah, when you play that kind of aggressive game, it takes a toll in injuries, and you don't necessarily stand out as being the pretty boy with the golden hair on the outside running in tries from 50 meters, but you are the one rearranging the outside half's rib cage for him, and I'd settle for 2 of them every game. So anyway, Mark, what were you going to say about him?
Yeah, I think there's been a clear difference in him for about the last year. When he came back against Munster, I think he was doing the Six Nations last year. There just seems to be a bit of a chip on his shoulder where he thinks he has to do everything himself. And I don't know what has happened, but I think he's somehow got rid of that a little bit on Friday night because he played with a bit more freedom than he normally would. That's only positive moving forward. Like we all know his contract is up for renewal, so hoping he stays for obvious reasons. We need to keep a good line of centres going. 3 decent centres isn't enough. You need 4, you need 5. You know how long the season is. But yeah, Johnny his distribution is something that we haven't seen enough of, and the few times we have seen it, we're like, whoa, where did that come from? I didn't know he could do that. So it'd be great to see him start doing more of that. Similar with Eddie James, we've seen the little pop passes he pulls off. Johnny Williams has shown that he can do that as well. And being someone who's going to get targeted with 2 men more or less every time he's got the ball, the more he can vary his game and do that, maybe add a kicking element into it. The sky's the limit.
I'm not convinced about Eddie James and Johnny Williams as a combination, purely because of how much Johnny comes inside to play 12.
Yeah.
It takes away Eddie's. He kind of overshadows Eddie. I think Eddie and obviously Joe Roberts work very well together because Joe Roberts is like, I'm going to stand here at 13 because I'm the best 13 in Wales, and I'm going to be 13 and you're going to be 12. Whereas I think it's very fashionable at the moment. I notice it with a lot of teams of having a 12 at 13, but it's kind of taken away from Eddie, I think, a little bit.
But I think you've got to balance that by having a bit of adaptability in the backs. I think I think we're finding our system. We aren't planting a system on there. We're finding that system that works, and I think having an adaptability between our 13s where we can play it one way or we can play a different way, will confuse the opposition. They won't know who's coming in at 12. They won't know who's going out at 13. They won't know the line that we're running, and you can see that starting to develop, and we're starting to run ourselves a bit more space. I think if we give it another 5 or 6 games of swapping and changing, and I'd say even with Johan Nicholas on the pitch, just bringing him into a centre as well, and all of a sudden they go, where did he come from? He's full. What's going on? It puts a doubt in the opposition's mind about how they're lining up and they're not playing ball with our defensive system, and that's not fair. So that's a good thing.
I think if your Nicholas runs into the 13 channel, you can almost have Eddie and Johnny running one running a 12 line and one running a dummy 12 line to try and create some space. But I don't think that's happened enough. And I think that's why we probably haven't gone as wide as often as we're used to seeing, is because there's been a bit of confusion in the midfield and we've ended up losing yards 2-3 phases with the forwards and then we've kicked it away. Where with the pace we've got out wide, as in we should be targeting the wide channels every 5 or 6 phases, just because there's pace to kill there. And I'm just wondering what you think. He's 27 now. Is it a case that he's had to become a senior player in that back line at a younger age, maybe not as ready as he needs to be for that sort of role? Because we've lost Patch. I know we've got Scott and Foxy still on the books, but they've not featured that much. Steph Evs, we've seemed to have picked younger wingers. At 27, is Johnny Williams being seen as the go-to guy in the midfield that we sort of rely on?
I mean, I think he is, but in terms of his age, I don't think that's an issue because I think he made his debut when he was 17, so he's been around for 10 years. He's had all them boys around him for 10 years. Whether his character or is how he is as a person adapts to that role, I'm not too sure. And I think that would be more of the issue than him not quite being ready. I mean, Costello's what, 22, 23? He stood up and he's taken everything on charge. So I don't think there's an age issue. It might just be the type of character that he is. But
Yeah.
you know, I'd be happy with Johan in my match day squad, not an issue.
Yeah.
So if we'd have played like that with that level of intensity and we'd have played for 80 minutes throughout the season, yeah, let's just assume that we played that way all the way through the season. How many games do you think we would have nicked? Or how many more games? We've won 3 games so far. So let's say we've won those 3. Would there have been other games where we would have probably won it? I reckon we'd have won Boxing Day against the Ospreys.
Yeah, I'd say about
Dragons.
4 games. Lions definitely, Connacht even.
Well, we kind of did play like that against the Lions.
Yeah, but not for 80 though, was it? It wasn't an
Yeah,
80
no, we only lost it because of Steph Evans.
Yeah. No, I reckon we could have got at least another 4 wins on the board. And then obviously the games to come, you know, I think if we play like this against Ulster.
Fuck me, if we'd have played like that against Black Lion, we'd have won that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I forgot about them.
Yeah, it would.
Probably would have won, Boxing Day and New Year's Day, would have won those 2.
Definitely.
Probably 3 or 4. Because funny enough, I was looking at the table there now, and we've won the same amount of games as Cardiff, but we've lost 1 more, but we've been battered that many times that they're 8 points ahead of us. They've had 1 draw, so they've got 6 more bonus points more than us, and it just shows the value. I know Jared Payne's come in now, but yeah, it's imperative to have a good defense structure in place so he's not getting battered left, right, and centre.
Well, I'm not quite sure what happened in defence because last season, you know, Babs came in. There was a good work rate. It was quite good at times, you know, second half of the season. We did show we could defend. I have no bloody idea what has happened this season. I don't know if people just, you know, started analysing us a bit more and gone, oh, look, we could do it. But, you know, Babs wasn't a bad defence coach, you know. He showed that he could do it last season, and you know, obviously he's still involved with the Scarlets in some capacity. But it was a real weird one.
I think fitness and cohesion is a lot of that. Like this, by the way, this is the first game all season we've made 1 change to the starting 15. This is the fewest changes we made to the starting 15 all season. I think that's a big part of it.
And it was because of injury.
Sorry, Alex Craig is injured, is he?
Yeah, he was out for the game.
Okay.
He's just a minor. I think it was a minor hamstring.
Dwayne also used the bench a bit more in this game, which was nice.
And earlier in the game as well.
Yeah. Jack Price, I think, should have come on a bit earlier, but Morgan Jones did have a good game. But I still don't get the whole substituting Tom Rogers for Ryan Combeer on 70 minutes every week. I don't see what that is solving. Also, having Dan Jones in that 22 jersey is just a waste of a jersey at this point. And that's nothing against Dan Jones, but it's clearly you're here for if Costello gets injured. That's the only reason you're here. And for me, it's a waste of a jersey.
Yeah.
Unless Costello gets injured.
Johan Nicholas.
I'd rather go a heavier forward split on the bench. And
same.
Because that's where we're struggling. Our backs, effectively, in Combeer and Dan Jones, you've got 2 substitutions you don't really need to make. We'll make them because we give boys a game, but they don't need to be done. There's better options. I'd rather pack bulk up the pack and have flat out running legs for 80 minutes.
You going 7-1, Carwin? Is that what you're saying?
I'd probably go 6-2 just because I'm not
can play on the wing
yet. Although with only 3 games left of the season, nothing to lose. Let's go 7-1.
If Johan Lloyd is fit, you got to have Archie and 1 Johan on the bench.
I think Johan Lloyd on the bench might be the better option.
Oh, I'd go Johan Nicholas, and he covers the entire back.
But
line, 9 to 15.
So does Johan Lloyd, kind of, and Johan Lloyd is more of an impact for me. I don't know. It's a debate.
Does he read the game better though from the off? Does he offer more from the off?
Not for me.
So here's a question for you from a television point of view. You know how fond I am of Cardiff and Ospreys commentators around the Scarlets game. So we've got Tommy Lewis, who, with the best will in the world, is 5 foot something. Am I right, Mark? Is he 5'6", 5'7", something like that? So
Bear with me. I
Tommy
will
Lewis, who's quite a little bit shorter, quite stockier, and then you've got Tom Rogers on the other wing, who's
He's 6'1", man.
what?
Yeah.
Tommy Lewis?
Yeah.
Is he?
I didn't know he was taller than Rodgers, though, is it?
and Tommy Lewis is 6 foot flat.
Right. How heavy is Tommy Lewis?
85 kgs.
Heavy is Tommy Lewis? Tommy Lewis is 84 kilo.
And how heavy is Tom Rogers?
Tom Rogers is 87.
Right. Okay. Anyway, Richie Reese can't tell them apart because one of them's got a scrum cap on and the other one hasn't. To me,
it drives me insane. Sorry, they get paid to commentate. Do some research.
Yeah.
First off, there's numbers on the back of the shirt to make life easier for commentators, and then to make it even a bit more sort of easier for them to work it out, one wears a scrum cap. How hard is it?
And who is Tommy Rogers? I have never heard of this person.
He's not even the match 23, but he's been commentating on. Things like that drive me insane.
But you know, because it's a live game, you don't want to like stop it and rewind it and go, "What did he say?" But I had to, and I had to stop it. Go back and go, yeah. He's just called Tom. So Tom Rogers chased a kick and challenged in the air and all that kind of stuff. And goes, definitely Tom Rogers. Yeah, definitely Tom Rogers. And he called us another cracking kick chase from Tommy Lewis. I'm going, he's 50 meters away. He's the other side of the pitch. He's not even moved. He's swinging back round in the pendulum. He's at fullback now. What the fuck are you talking about, you dickhead?
Johan Costello, he done awesome there.
I was half expecting to call Costello Stephen Jones.
It did, yeah.
To be fair, Eddie Butler, God rest him, did call Scott Williams Scott Gibbs a couple of times.
He was getting
and Scott Gibbs was chuffed with that reference apparently as well.
Yeah. But that was Eddie. We can forgive Eddie because we love him. Whereas Richie Reese. There we go.
There's a reason Cardiff for one end.
Yeah. Right. Let's have a little look forward then, because I think we're quite fortunate in our 3 games left. So we've got Ulster away, then we've got Ulster at home, haven't we? Yeah, we've got 3 home games. No, Zebra away. Zebra away, yeah. So Ulster at home, Zebra away, and then Dragons at home-ish in Cardiff. So, I mean, all 3 of those, I mean, Ulster is obviously the tough game, but Ulster at the minute are doing their best to rip themselves apart and give everybody else a fair crack at it.
When is that? Because Ulster have got a lot of home games left. So where do we play them in relation to their game against Leinster?
We
I'm looking it up now.
We play them a week Saturday.
So Ulster must have a European fixture. No, they haven't got a European fixture.
I think they've got us, and then is it Leinster and?
Yeah, I'm just checking because if they play Leinster the week after us, they might send a weakened team to us.
Yeah, they do.
But no, I think they'll target us as the win because they probably need one big win to make it to the playoffs, and who better to play than the team who ship 40 points every other week? So,
yeah,
I think they'll target us as the big one and hope to pick up some bonus points against Leinster and Munster. It's
a home game against Leinster, though. I don't know.
They're going to put something out for their fans, but that's on a Saturday, though, isn't it?
It's a 5:30. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff. So yes.
So for Ulster, for not to have a Friday night home game, that's going to be hard enough as it is. So I reckon they're probably gonna want us, and they've got a week off now. So realistically, they'll use. I know it's not nice to use them, but they're focusing on it. So they can use us as a warm up, a full run out of the 23. And as inconsistent I want to use when I talk about Ulster, I think they are there for the taking. I don't think we've got enough to fully do it, but I reckon we can give them a go for the full 80.
I reckon if we take a losing bonus point out of Ulster, yeah, if we're competitive the way we were against the Sharks, so there's a bit more positivity, there's a bit more kind of, we can do this, and then we're heading into Zebra and Dragons, the two teams below us, with a bit more confidence, a bit more willingness to have a go. I hate playing Dragons on.
Full stop.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just hate playing the Dragons. Yeah. No, there's something about last game of the season, Judgment Day, Dragons, that just seems to bring out the worst in us and the best in them.
And the problem is as well, there is the possibility that loser of that game finishes bottom of the Welsh pile, so they'll definitely be up for it.
We lose to Zebra, it could be bottom outright.
Well, yeah. When you say that, gosh, yeah, that hadn't even crossed my mind. But surely there's an 80-minute performance in this before the end of the season. It has to be. We can't go the entire season without showing something.
Well, I think if you look at the last two home games, if you look at the Benetton game and then you look at the Sharks game, just and ignore Edinburgh, just forget the Edinburgh. You look at those two games, and actually, there's a fair bit of confidence starting to return. There's a little bit more grunt up front. I think our front row got taken apart by the Sharks, as we've already said, but we found a way of actually making that scrum work. We're using a quick route one ball. So, I think we're still adapting, we're still improving, we're still getting there. And, the social media is full of people that will tell us, yeah, but, 10 years ago we were doing this, 6 years ago we were doing that. Yeah, but we're in a different world now. And realistically, from where we were, 4 or 5 games into the season, where everything was starting to just fall apart already, to where we are now, where it feels like that confidence is returning. It feels like there's something coming back that's building. It feels like we're going forward. Yeah.
I challenge anyone to start their season in South Africa and get off on the right foot.
Well, because we had 2 proper hammerings out there.
Yeah. I mean, we were bad in those games, don't get me wrong, but it is the toughest possible start to a season.
Playing devil's advocate for a second, because we mentioned Ulster bringing a weakened side to us. What if we played a weakened side against them and then went all guns blazing for the last 2?
What does a weakened side for the Scarlets
playing
look like?
7, only playing 7 players.
Yeah, I don't think we'd notice if we put a weakened
side.
That
is the one thing that I will let Dwayne off with the whole Ryan Combier on the bench thing, is I don't think we've got any other fit backs.
No.
6'2".
Yes, I know. That's why I
It is the way it is.
I don't know. I'm just thinking, as in, realistically, I know Ulster aren't maybe the dominant force they were the last couple of years, but the likelihood is, based on our performances this season, we lose heavily, and then confidence is shattered for probably, on paper, 2 games you'd pick at the start of the season as victories. Do we rest a few for that Ulster game and then say, right, I need a full 160 from you over the next 2 weeks, hammer and tongs?
I think possibly, but we got like a week off now, haven't we? So in theory,
and a week off after Zebra.
Yeah.
Oh, of course we have, yeah.
Yeah. So you'd look at that and you'd go, okay, we've probably got enough space in there to manage players' time effectively. Yeah, you don't want to get injured, you don't want to get carded, you don't want to get all of these things, but that could happen at any point in the season, wouldn't it? So Interesting, gents. Interesting. Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave the rest of the season to you guys to discuss and to work out. So we've reached the end of the show, which means one thing and one thing only. It's time for dad jokes, gentlemen. Okay.
Predictions first, aren't they, Bat?
No, we got nothing to predict, mate. We got nothing to predict.
We won't lose this week.
Yes, there you go. There's no games to lose this week. Right. Here we go. Carwin, you get to go first. Ready? On your mark. Too slow, mate. Too slow. I mean, we got a shot.
Stop.
I do it to my kids. So it's just a thing. All right, here you go.
Stop.
Here we go. Okay. Why can't a nose be 12 inches long?
Because it's something to do with a foot.
Then it would be a foot. Yes. These are classics, please.
Showing my age now.
Martin, you'll go.
Stop.
Okay. What do you call a tortilla chip that works out?
I don't know.
A macho nacho. I like that one. A macho nacho.
Oh, I can't wait to get rid of you.
All right, Hugh, last one.
Stop.
Why are robots never afraid? Because they've got nerves of steel. Ah, you're gonna miss
Could have
it.
said something about Thistle then, man.
You're gonna miss it, boys. You're gonna miss it. Right. So, yeah. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of time to say thank you to you boys and to listeners for putting up with me and keeping me relatively sane for the last 2 years. So I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving or anything like that. I'll just be doing stuff in the background and all of that kind of malarkey and dropping in on pods when people are off and things like that. And the prospect of sitting in.
Oh, that's so sweet.
There's a prospect of sitting in on an Ospreys pod, which I'm not particularly looking forward to, in all honesty. But
Book the day off work. That shit is long.
Yeah, but yeah. In particular, just want to say thank you to you, Mart, for kind of being there at the start-ish and sticking with us last season. End of last season was actually really good with the community games, and it went right down to the wire, didn't it? So it was really memorable. So like I say, I'm not going anywhere. I will be around, but yeah, just thank you to you guys and thank you to listeners for tolerating me for the last 2 seasons. It's been a blast. It's been really good and it's been really enjoyable. And I'll be dropping back on every now and again. And if you follow our YouTube channel, which another 300 or so people need to do, in all honesty, but if you follow our YouTube channel, you'll see me pop up in videos every now and again and all of that kind of thing. So with that in mind, gents, it's time to say goodbye. Thank you once again. You guys will be back next week. You can pretty much do what you want from next week. I won't care. I'll just be listening to it the following day.
So next week we tell our true feelings about Lee.
I will send you my stack of dad jokes, Mart, just so you can stay up with it, mate.
My kids will lose them, don't worry.
Gents, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Enjoy your rugby. We'll see you next time. All the best.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.